Wait, hold up, did you just walk into your room, look at your plant, and see the leaves turning yellow? Yeah, I know that sinking feeling. It's like your plant is waving a little yellow flag saying, "Help me, I'm not okay." And the first thought that pops into your head is usually, great, it's dying. But here's the truth. Yellow leaves don't always mean your plant's on its way to plant heaven. In fact, it's your plant's way of communicating with you. Think of it like a text message, except instead of words, it's flashing you colors. And if you know how to read the signs, you can fix it before things get worse. Here's the catch though. Yellowing isn't caused by just one thing. There are multiple reasons this happens. And if you don't figure out which one's going on with your plant, you'll be stuck in the same cycle of guessing. Watering it when it doesn't need water, moving it around, stressing over it, and nothing changes. That's why in this video, I'm breaking down the real reasons behind yellow leaves one by one and showing you exactly how to fix them. By the time we're done, you'll be a plant detective. So let's start with the most common mistake, watering. This is the #1 killer, hands down. Most of us love our plants so much we drown them. And the thing is, when roots sit in soggy soil, they can't breathe. No oxygen equals sign, no life. Your plant's roots basically suffocate, and the leaves start yellowing as a big SOS. It's like when you wear wet socks for hours, gross, uncomfortable, and eventually damaging. On the flip side, not watering enough is just as bad. The soil turns dry as dust, the roots shrivel up, and your plant is left gasping for moisture. What happens next? You guessed it. Yellow leaves. They're basically saying, "I'm thirsty over here." So how do you figure out which problem you have, too much or too little water? Simple, stick your finger in the soil. If it's soggy and clings to your finger, you're overwatering. If it's dry an inch or two down, your plant's parched. And here's the kicker. Don't just water on a schedule like every 2 days. Instead, pay attention to the soil. Plants drink differently depending on the season, the pot size, and even where you've placed them. Already you can see how important this is, because if you get watering wrong, nothing else you do will matter. Fertilizer won't save it. Moving it won't save it. Plants need balance, and water is the first piece of the puzzle. So, if your plant has yellow leaves right now, your first detective move is checking the soil. 9 times out of 10, that's where the problem starts. And once you fix that, you're halfway to saving your plant. Alright, now that we've tackled water, let's shine a light, literally, on the next big cause of yellow leaves. Sunlight. Plants live for light. It's their food, their energy source, their morning coffee. Without it, they can't photosynthesize, and when that happens, the leaves start losing their rich green color and fade into, you guessed it, yellow. But here's the funny thing, more light doesn't always mean better. Too little light, and your plant's basically starving. Too much light, and it's like you left it out in the desert with no sunscreen. You'll see leaves turning yellow with crispy brown patches, almost like a bad sunburn. That's your clue right there. So how do you know if your plant's not getting enough or getting roasted? Look at the growth. Stretchy, leggy stems reaching for a window, not enough light. Yellowing leaves with scorch marks, way too much. And here's the golden rule. Know your plant's vibe. A cactus and a fern are not going to thrive in the same corner of your house. A cactus craves full-on sunshine while a fern prefers that cozy, shady spot. Match them with the right spot, and boom, the yellow leaves stop showing up. Now let's talk nutrients. Because even if your light and water are perfect, your plant can still fade if it's not fed. Think of nutrients as your plant's diet. Without them, the green pigment, chlorophyll, starts breaking down, and what's left behind? Pale, yellow leaves. The most common deficiency is nitrogen. That's the nutrient plants use to grow lush, leafy greens. When it's missing, the older leaves at the bottom turn yellow first because the plant pulls nitrogen from them to feed the new growth. It's like your plant saying, "Sorry old leaves, I gotta prioritize the babies." Another common one is iron deficiency. That one's sneaky because it shows up in the new leaves first. You'll notice the younger leaves turning yellow while the veins stay dark green. That's your signal it's not nitrogen, it's iron. Magnesium deficiency. The leaves get yellow patches starting between the veins. Each nutrient leaves its own fingerprint. So how do you fix it? Fertilizer, but in the right way. A balanced, all-purpose fertilizer works for most plants, and it's like giving your plant a smoothie full of vitamins. But here's where people mess up. They overdo it. More fertilizer doesn't mean faster growth. It actually burns the roots and makes the yellowing worse. It's kind of like eating 10 energy bars at once. You just end up feeling sick. So start small. Follow the directions on the fertilizer label, maybe even dilute it a little, and feed your plant every few weeks during the growing season. You'll notice the difference in the color of the new leaves. They'll come in healthy and green instead of pale and weak. See how this works? Yellow leaves are like a puzzle, and sunlight plus nutrients are two of the biggest pieces. Once you balance those, you're knocking out two more major causes of plant stress. And guess what? That means fewer sad yellow leaves and way more vibrant green in your space. Alright, we've talked about water, sunlight, and nutrients, but sometimes your plant's yellow leaves come from things you don't notice right away. These are the sneaky problems, the ones that creep up when you least expect them. Let's start with the little villains, pests, yep, bugs. Tiny, annoying freeloaders like spider mites, aphids, and fungus gnats. You might not even see them at first, but they're there sucking the juice out of your plant. Spider mites are masters of hiding under leaves, leaving behind little webby threads. Aphids crowd around new shoots and stems, leaving sticky residue. Fungus gnats love wet soil and can mess with the roots. The damage? Leaves turning yellow, curling, or dropping off altogether. So how do you know if pests are the problem? Get close. Check under the leaves, around the stems, and in the soil. If you spot specks moving around, sticky spots, or webbing, it's time to act fast. The good news is, pests don't have to mean the end of your plant. A quick wipe down with a damp cloth, spraying neem oil, or using insecticidal soap can clear them out. Just stay consistent, because these little guys don't give up after one round. But pests aren't the only sneaky cause. Stress can do it too. I know it sounds weird. Plants get stressed? Totally. Every time you move your plant to a new spot, repot it, or expose it to sudden changes, it reacts. Think about it. If you were suddenly moved to a new city with different weather and food, you'd need time to adjust. Plants are the same. They might drop leaves, turn yellow, or slow their growth. That doesn't mean they're dying, it just means they're recalibrating. The fix? Patience. Give them stable conditions and a little TLC and they'll bounce back. Another hidden cause of yellow leaves is poor drainage. You might be watering perfectly, but if your pot doesn't have a drainage hole, that water has nowhere to go. The roots end up drowning in trapped water, and bam, yellow leaves. This is why drainage holes are non-negotiable. If your favorite decorative pot doesn't have one, use it as a cover pot and keep your plant in a plastic nursery pot inside it. That way, excess water can drain out, and your plant's roots stay happy. And let's not forget temperature swings. Plants don't like drama. If they're sitting next to an air conditioner blasting cold air one minute, then a heater blowing hot air the next, that instability stresses them out. Drafts from open windows, hot radiators, or sudden seasonal shifts can all trigger yellowing. The solution? Keep your plants away from vents and drafty spots. They thrive best in consistent, calm environments. So, pests, stress, poor drainage, and temperature swings, these are the sneaky troublemakers behind yellow leaves. They're not as obvious as watering or sunlight issues, but once you know to look for them, you'll start catching the signs early. And the best part? Every single one of these problems has a fix. It's all about paying attention, noticing the details, and making small tweaks that add up to big plant wins. So now you know the big reasons behind yellow leaves: water, sunlight, nutrients, pests, stress, and even those sneaky little things like drainage and drafts. But the real question is, what do you actually do when your plant is already looking sad and yellow? Can you bring it back? The answer is yes, but with a twist. Here's the honest truth. Once a leaf turns yellow, it usually won't go back to green. And that's okay. It doesn't mean your plant is doomed. It just means that leaf has served its purpose and the plant is ready to focus on new growth. Think of it like split ends in your hair. You don't try to repair them, you trim them off so the rest can thrive. Same idea here. Grab some clean scissors and snip off the yellow leaves. That way, your plant can redirect its energy to making fresh green ones. But cutting leaves is only step one. The real comeback happens when you give your plant the care it actually needs. And it's not complicated, just a few golden rules. First, water smart. Don't water on a rigid schedule like every 2 days because plants don't follow calendars. Instead, check the soil with your finger. If it feels dry about an inch or two down, that's your cue. If it's still damp, leave it alone. Plants prefer a little weight over being constantly soggy. Second, get the light right. Don't guess, learn what your plant loves. Low-light plants like pothos or snake plants can live happily in shaded corners, but your fiddle leaf fig, it craves bright, indirect light. Once you figure that out, you'll stop fighting yellow leaves caused by light stress. Third, feed your plants, but do it wisely. A balanced fertilizer every few weeks during the growing season gives them the nutrients they need. Just remember, less is more. Always dilute your fertilizer if you're not sure. Too much food is worse than too little. Next, give your plant a stable environment. That means no constant moving around, no placing it right under a heater in winter, or next to an AC vent in summer. Plants thrive in consistency. If you create a calm environment, they'll reward you with strong, healthy growth. And finally, keep an eye out for pests. Don't wait until you see major damage. Make it a habit to flip over a leaf or two when you water. Catching a pest problem early makes it so much easier to deal with. The best part of all this? Plants are way tougher than they look. Even if yours looks rough right now, if you give it the right care, it can surprise you with new life. There's nothing like spotting a tiny new green leaf after weeks of worry. It feels like a little victory every time. So remember this, yellow leaves aren't a sign of failure, they're a signal. Your plant isn't giving up, it's asking for your help. And now, you know exactly how to listen. Take off the yellow leaves, adjust the care, and watch your plant bounce back. You'll not only save it, you'll become a better plant parent in the process. And trust me, that first flush of new green growth, totally worth it.